Mr. Okkotsu, you will fall. What's up, guys? I'm here, and here we are to do a nice little breakdown and discussion on why Yuta versus Sukunas should just be a massacre. Like, I don't know. I've seen people going a little bit crazy, a little bit bonkers at the end of 248, and Yuta pop off as he's been popping off. And I know everybody's getting all excited, all hyped, all crit. Y'all remember what happened to Kashimo? Remember what happened to Higuruma? What makes you think Uda is any different? He is very different. He is fundamentally different. And we'll talk about why. There are a couple reasons why I think Uda vs Sukuna is an unfair massacre, despite what ends up happening at the end of 248. But we have a whole lot to talk about. So let's not waste any more time and let's hop right into it. Editing me. Ready. 3, 2, 1, go. What's up, guys? That guy with a pencil here. Fun fact. I do happen to have it on me and keep it on me at all times. And another fun fact. Yuta Okkotsu tends to have it on him and keep it on him at all times. Now, without the scabbard, it's like, bro, left it at home and said, no, we're going all blade out. There's no point to put that bad boy away. And I can't blame bro because he's literally going up against the king of slashers himself, Ryomen Sukuna. Now, to cover the Uda hype, because we got to talk about the Uda hype before we talk about Uda maybe not being so hyped, maybe Uda getting sniped. We have this interaction right here. We see Sukuna, he opens up with a big, juicy, scrumdiddlyumptious feet cleave. He strikes the pose, he feet cleaves, he tears apart the entire area. Yuta Okkotsu falls from the heavens. I'm not exactly sure how this one works. I don't know if bro teleported in. Like if Uyu is just like, oh, you need your Uber? Got you. And he teleported Yuta in, or if Yuta literally just leaped in himself. I don't think Yuta's using a technique here because he's very notably in base. He is not without the 5 minutes. So it's not like he stole Uyui's technique or anything. Bro must have just like either traveled through the Shadow Realm, got a lift high in the sky that we didn't notice. I don't know. It's a little bit weird. But Yuta shows up, and then you see the main man himself, Ryomen Sukuna. He coats his hand in cursed energy. Notably, it's the hand that is still very consistently not healing. It's still damaged. I think there's something up with that hand, but that's another video for another time. But we see Yuta Okkotsu and Ryomen Sukuna clash hand to hand. A lot of people have been taking this like crazy, knocking it through the roof, saying Yuta Okkotsu, oh he's a he clashed with Ryomen Sukuna, oh my toes are curling. And like a bunch of people have been losing their good mind over this. And of course, we have the end of the chapter where the Queen of Curses comes in and right on forearmed hand Sukuna's dome piece. Let him know for real, that this is time for a royal battle. And she's unmanifested. So, a couple different things to slop off Yuta a little bit. Number one, he does immediately clash with the King of Curses right here. Like, word for word, bar for bar. A lot of people have been saying this is a dismantle or cleave. I'm not sure, but I don't think, mainly because I don't think we've ever seen it used like this. Like, notably, Sukuna kind of, y'all remember in Dragon Ball Z, I know there's a completely different model, but hear me out. Remember in Dragon Ball Z where Goku raised the finger against Trunks and infused it with a whole bunch of ki? And then, like, when Trunks brought out his sword, they clashed, and Goku's fingers reinforced with so much ki that it might as well have been a sword. I kind of view this the same way, because remember, at least based on our understanding that's from Kusakabe and a retrospective understanding on how we use it, cleave is very particularly when Sukuna gets a little grip on you. Like when he grabs something, he never grabs Yuta's blade here. And we, once again, going off Kusakabe's assumption, don't get me wrong, Kusakabe's probably game theorying, and we don't really trust, well, it's film theory, right? Because it's a manga. Film theory. Gege is probably using Kusakabe to film theory, but it's hard to trust film theory. Last time we trusted theory, Gojo got cut in half. So, like, it's clearly not the same thing for theory, but, like, we see, no, not that, not that, but we literally see how Sukuna uses cleave very, very recently, presumably this is cleave. He never lights up his hand with any sort of energy. He just doesn't he just grabs things, and then boom, the technique activates. I'm not sure why people think this is cleave. A lot of people have been saying it's dismantle, and you just reacted to dismantle. Also, in this very same chapter, we see Sukuna use this mantle, and it also doesn't look anything like this. Like, this is Sukuna using this mantle. We see him specifically use it with these two. Are either of these hands coated in cursed energy? No, right? Like I don't know. I've been seeing a bunch of people say this. I'm not sure. And I'm more than happy to be wrong. I just don't think Sukuna used the technique. I think he legit just coded his hand to Curse Energy and clashed with Yuta. And the main reason I say that, because I know people are going to be like, well, why would he do that? And why not? He's very clearly still playing around. A lot of people have also been saying, Sukuna's not holding back here. Sukuna's immediately going to execute Yuta. Since when? So, like, if we're going to take, like, interacting with Sukuna just at all suddenly means he's going all out, I just don't see the vision, alright? Well, like, we've seen Bro's in a very playful, silly, and giggling mood. Like, the fact that the Shiesty Sorcerer and Kusakabe are still alive is a reference to how much Sukuna is playing around. And it's why I very consistently say this, no one scales to Sukuna. Not a single soul here. He's just messing around. A lot of people have been saying otherwise, but considering the fact that there's no exertion here, no nothing. And here's the thing. I'm not saying that Yuta's going on either. Bro's clearly not. The ring is off the finger. He's clearly still holding back himself. Bro doesn't even consider Sukuna worthy of popping off with Manifested Rika. He said, fine, take Unmanifested. And that's still great for Yuta. And this feat, especially, is fantastic for Unmanifested Rika. Being able to force Sukuna to squat at all. Very, very impressive. Good stuff. Scrumblyumptious. Juicy even. But I don't suddenly think this puts like Yuta through the roof or anything like that. I do think this is Sukuna holding back and, you know, clashing with Yuta by reinforcing his hand with Cursed Energy and boom. Like we see, like legitimately, the reason I'm so confident this is reinforcement with Cursed Energy is because we've seen people reinforce weapons with Cursed Energy and has the exact same effect and drawing by Gege. Covering something in the flow of Cursed Energy means just reinforcing it with extra Cursed Energy. He does that with a damaged hand and clashes with Yuta. Good stuff for base Yuta still. Still fantastic. More than Kashimo ever did. Kashimo did never clash with this Yuta. But, still, not with this Yuta. With this Sukuna. Never did. But I don't think Sukuna is mystically, magically going all out here, randomly trying to execute Yuta with a Giga Cleave or Giga Spin. None of that. But, of course, all that is just this interaction and then 248. You may be wondering, okay, Pencil Man. As you've just admitted, quite clearly, you don't believe either of these individuals and all their amazing and legendary power going all out. And that's true. I really do not believe that. I think to certain degrees, both of them are suppressed. One in a way more admittedly explicitly obvious than the other. Like, clearly Yuta's just not wielding the ring, nor fully manifested Rika, so he's clearly holding back. And Sukuna, in my opinion, is clearly holding back, considering he's just been doing that. And no one here is in the level of Satoru Gojo. We'll get to that in a second. But obviously, the natural question is, well, why are you so confident then that fully manifested Rika and full power Yuta aren't going to be able to give Sukuna that work, that smoke, especially if base Yuta is able to go bar for bar? And that is a good question. I'm here to answer it for you. Especially considering, like, base Yuta has recently gotten quite the massive upscale thanks to the events of 230, not 239, 243. With him being able to come in and just special grade, that's crazy, especially just for base Yuta, which is confirmed to be base Yuta by the time of 248. So this is very, very good stuff. But, like, Kenny was just never on the level of, like, anybody. At least the top two. Like, Kenny was never in the same echelon as them. Like, we literally see it in 221. Kenny is just unable. Like, bro needed to be saved by 15-finger Meguna. Not to talk of 20-finger Heian Body Sukuna. So while this is a very impressive feat, it does send Yuta up through the ranks massively, especially in base. Nothing all too crazy for Yuta scaling. And the main thing that has me so worried for our blessed boy is this statement right here. Nope, not that one. Not that one either. Not this one either. But actually, this one right here. We see that Yuta Okkotsu, way back when Gojo Satoru were still alive, Yuta Okkotsu makes a declarative statement. I'm going to go join the fight. And then we see Kashimo talking mad smack for someone who's going to get got. And what, this is 234? 234? Someone's going to get packed in 4 chapters. He's talking mad smack. But he crosses up and is like, no, come back. Don't interfere. He starts to spark up. Yuta Okkotsu begins to rear up his cursed energy. As Kashimo says, if anyone's next, it isn't you. And then we see, because, you know, obviously I love Kashimo. I think he's fantastic. I don't think he knows the full scope of Yuta's abilities. I just generally don't. Like, maybe you could argue they sparred off-screen during the one-time skip, but I highly doubt these two have any real comprehension of their full abilities. Yuta definitely doesn't have full comprehension of Kashimo's abilities, because Kashimo's never shown them, and it's very likely that Yuta never showed fully manifested Rika to Kashimo. I highly doubt these two have had any interactions. This is probably their first time that they're about to go bar for bar. But, you know who I do trust? Satoru Gojo and Satoru Gojo's chosen in Akari Kinji. As Akari very explicitly states, chill, Gozu, Kashimo's right. Gojo said he only wants help if he gets weaker than you or me. So, this essentially means that Gojo Satoru, admittedly, I've been saying this wrong before. Gojo's arm doesn't get... Well, I mean, you can argue based on the fact that no one interferes after this point. That technically this statement I've been saying is still true. But at least by the statement made by Akari Kinji beginning of the chapter, and the lack of Yuta interfering until way later, obviously, you can make a pretty solid argument that Yuta Okkotsu is inferior to Satoru Gojo, while his output is low and he has brain damage. He just is. He just flat out is verbatim inferior. Don't get me wrong, there are still definitely things that Yuta has access to that we'll talk about that could give us a little bit of hope and cope, but who knows knowing Sukuna. But one of the main things is that Yuta Okkotsu is just definitively, juicily, scrumdiddlyumptiously weaker than this Gojo. He just is. He is. And don't get me wrong, I love Gojo as much as the next guy. But considering the fact that he did get one-tapped by a low RCT, no, literally no RCT. I say low RCT, a no RCT, on the verge of being cooked, crazily Omega damaged Sukuna after Gojo was tweaking off not one, not two, not three, but 4 black flashes. And had his output restored. I think it's still very fair to say that this Sukuna, not this one, that's not Sukuna, that this Sukuna is still stronger than this Gojo. The Gojo we see in 234, who Yuta is still definitively weaker than, based on this interaction. Because note, a lot of people would say, well, Hikari doesn't know what he's talking about. But here's the thing, Yuta immediately rebuttals with, that depends on the circumstances. Sukuna's domain just got wrecked. Rika and I would be effective against 2 Shikigami. So, he's not even disagreeing with Hikari here. Meaning he agrees that Gojo Satoru is still stronger than him, and he's breaking the rules only because of circumstance. So Yuta himself believes this. And there's no, unlike the Hikari statement, there's no counter made by Maki here. In fact, Maki says the opposite. She's like, no, I'm the obvious choice. And Kashimo gets mad, but she says, don't forget your role. If you perish, we lose our insurance. So, don't get me wrong, Yuta's still definitely being held in high enough echelon that he is the insurance. He is the guy who's meant to be relied on and take care of certain things after the fact. But it doesn't necessarily mean he's going to start going bar for bar with someone who's stronger than Satoru Gojo. Because I don't think I need to convince you that this fella right here is stronger than Satoru Gojo. And another thing that I gotta stack on top of this, because I've seen people make the argument so far, well, maybe Yuta could have gotten stronger. And then I ask, but how though? If this Yuta, who on the same day, like, literally this interaction probably takes place in universe 20 minutes ago. Like, legit, like straight up 20 minutes ago. Like, I don't think, if even that. Because the rest of this is 234. This is where this chapter is from. This is 234. Gojo falls in 236. Kashimo vs. Sukuna takes like 5 minutes at most. Let's just say it takes 5 minutes. And then Takuma vs. Kinjaku takes place in the time period of Kashimo vs. Sukuna and then a little bit of the crew versus Sukuna. Which also probably at most takes place over 10 minutes. Unless you're going to somehow tell me that Yuta Okkotsu got massively stronger, like 25 minutes, I have no idea how he suddenly surpassed Satoru Gojo here. I don't see the vision. I personally do not. And here's the thing. Don't get me wrong. Something is clearly wrong with Sukuna. Like, the fact that his hand is consistently steaming throughout the entire chapter. I personally didn't even notice this. I did an hour-and-a-half long review, and I didn't actually point out this fact. But as has been pointed out to me, something's clearly up with Sukuna. Look from the start of this chapter, this beautiful, scrumdiddlyumptious chapter, which is occasionally ugly. But look all the way from the beginning. Hand steaming. Hand steaming, hand steaming, hand steaming, and burning, and still damaged. Hand steaming, even this tiny panel. Well, you can't see it here. This is like the one panel with tiny Sukuna where you kind of can't see it. But once again, we see a little bit more steam of RCT here. Hand steaming, hand steaming. One more time for the 3 time. I think we're way beyond the 3 time. We don't see it here or here. Oh no, I'm running out. Oh wait, no, hand still steaming. Another case of hand steaming. So, like, something clearly, hand steam, like, I can keep going. We don't see it here because of the angles. But even, look, even in this tiny behind hand steam, like, something's clearly up with Sukuna. And I think it has something to do with what Higuruma did. Now that it's pointed out to me, I'm seeing the vision more and more. I think Higuruma did even more than what we expected, considering the fact that Sukuna's hand has been steaming for this entire chapter. And continues to keep steaming. Like, realize, even here at the end where it stops steaming, it's still coated in cursed energy and still heavily damaged. So something's up with Sukuna's hand. Meaning Sukuna's not at full power. Plus, while we don't fully understand the state of Sukuna's abilities, and like his reserves and stuff like that, he still is extremely powerful, still stupidly powerful, still has the perfect body for sorcery, and still was able to ragdoll Kashimo. Ragdoll him. It's getting dangerous. And of course, the main reason, right? Because like, all this can kind of be argued against, right? Yuta Okkotsu has more energy than Satoru Gojo. He should be maybe not as bulky as Gojo. Gojo's really, really... The question of bulk in Jujutsu Kaisen is super duper weird for a variety of reasons. But Yuta Okkotsu should be extremely bulky. One of the bulkiest characters in the series. If we just assume cursed energy amount means bulk, and we just ignore Hikari. We just say, we'll talk about Hikari and his durability and attack potency in a whole other video. He's another topic for another time. But presumably, if we're going just by sheer cursed energy amounts, Yuta Okkotsu should be the third bulkiest character in the series, being behind only his own Shikigami and the guy who has twice his cursed energy, or more than twice his cursed energy. So, in terms of just like sheer output, I am confident in saying that Yuta should be able to eat punches, kicks, smacks, back, and this is going to sound blasphemous. I know this is going to sound blasphemous. Some people are going to be like, oh, Pencil Man, how dare you say this? I think, even right now, Yuta most likely could eat a dismantle. A cleave is a bit more questionable because that adjusts to durability, but like, regardless, he should be able to, no. He should be able to eat a dismantle. He should be able to eat a cleave. All that stuff's good. The main issue, the prominent issue, well, we'll get to that one. It's this bad boy. Yuta has no defenses against that. And once again, based on how this is established, it's most likely probable that this is all Sukuna needs to do. Dragon scales, repulsion, pairing fault stars. Boom! World dismantle. Deadly dismantle. Spatial slash is what I call it. But like, I've heard a bunch of different names for it. The slash that cuts the world. This is just a thing that Sukuna can do. And we see this just a thing he can do because he whips it out on Higuruma of all characters. Like we see him in response to Higuruma learning domain amplification. What is Sukuna do in order to bypass that anyway? He just uses world dismantle. As he specifically goes, dragon scales, repulsion, pairing fault stars. And then boom, another dismantle comes out that Higuruma can't defend against. If there's a regular dismantle, then Higuruma would be able to defend, but it's not. It is specifically spatial slash. And Sukuna has free reign and access to that. And here's the thing, even if he's occupied talking with Yuta with one mouth, he has the second one. Even if two are, well, admittedly, with Yuta, he could go like, then again, Yuta, I guess he could swing the sword with one hand and punch. All four hands would kind of be occupied. That's one thing. All four hands would be occupied while fighting Yuta because his Queen of Curses over here. They could be going bar for bar, band for band. And of course, Rika has a tail too. Who knows what kind of freaky stuff she can get up to with a tail. But all it takes is a point in a general direction. Heck, right now, Rika is holding on to Sukuna, and Sukuna is grabbing her. She's a cleave victim right now. She can get gripped up. Well, not like that, but like she can get done like this. Right now, Sukuna has easy access to attacks that won't just damage Uda Okkotsu, but depending on how a spatial slash hits, Uda Okkotsu's cooked. He's literally sliced in half. Like if this hits, if this lands, if Sukuna doesn't feel like explicitly warning him, he's cooked. He's genuinely cooked. Like, there's no way. And here's the thing, right? A lot of people, myself included, have been trying to buff Yuta. Trying to get Yuta up to that level, to that peak, to that pinnacle where we can be like, okay, he's going to go word for word. He's going to go bar for bar. We're just going to pretend that 234 and these statements did not happen. That Yuta, he is, due to circumstance or whatever, he has ways to surpass Satoru Gojo, and this Sukuna is clearly super duper weak in comparison to what a proper variation would be like. We're gonna go with all that. The thing is, Sukuna's able to talk faster than light. I wish I really wish, like, remember, these waves that Kashimo fires out are electromagnetic. These are waves of electromagnetic energy. Now, you may not understand what that means. They essentially move at light speed. And remember, the main thing that I'm telling you that Yuta, and even by proxy Rika, needs to worry about, it's the fact that Sukuna has the slash that cuts the world. But we see Sukuna, after Kashimo fires one of these electromagnetic waves. I'm not saying Kashimo himself is light speed. There are contentions around that. Like, he wields electromagnetic waves and is able to copy and inherit the properties of electricity, and his speed does increase. I'm not sure if he's light speed, though. But he's able to fire out light speed attacks. He is able to fire a ray gun. And Sukuna speaks faster than this light beam can reach him. And I'm sorry, no matter how much juicy, scrumdiddlyumptious slop, and I mean slop with a capital S-O-L-P. Is that S-O-L-P? Lord. S-L-O-P. There's nothing that's getting Yuta faster than this. Nothing. The moment, and I mean the instant Sukuna takes this man seriously, he's cooked. And here's the thing. The main thing that I've been trying to smack on the table for Yuta, not even to save Mega, because a lot of people assume this, oh, you're giving Yuta this so he can save it. No! To save Yuta, because he's the one that's alive still. He's the one that matters. Angel's Light, Jacob's Ladder. But there are a couple issues with this. Number one, Sukuna kind of already knows where Yuta is. The one way Yuta could really safely set up Jacob's Ladder, which by the redraws of 214 or 213, I do believe, is revealed to be a maximum technique. Meaning, it does take time. Like, Kana needs to perform this whole ritual to start it up. Yeah, like, Yuta does not have that luxury anymore. So if he tries to start Jacob's Ladder after engaging with Sukuna, even if Rika's there trying to make me, not only would Rika somehow have to teleport out of the way of the light, but also Sukuna could literally just speak faster than it. And he would also recognize it and probably be wary of it the moment he even got a whiff, a taste, an inkling of that cursed energy coming out. So I don't think Jacob's Ladder is happening. And I don't think I really need to convince you that Yuta's current kit, Jacob's Ladder excluded, is not enough for Sukuna. Nothing at all. Nothing at all should be in Yuta's kit already that's confirmed that should be good enough for Sukuna. Sky manipulation, real good stuff. Real juicy, scrumdiddly, an amazing ability that allowed him to defeat Ryu Ishigori, the man with the highest curse energy output in all of history. Oh, ain't that good? Ain't that juicy? Ain't that scrumdiddly? Yeah, here's the thing about Spatial Slash. Or, well, actually, no. Here's the thing about Sky manipulation. You need to be able to react to the thing that's coming at you. And sure, let's go under the assumption that Spatial Slash does travel. We know Dismantles do, considering the fact that Yuji's able to... He's able to move his hands and block after the dismantles have been fired, which is another discussion for another time in terms of Yuji Todori getting hyped. But with that being the case, you need to be able to react to, like, pull something with Sky manipulation. I'm sorry. Mr. Okkotsu, he ain't reacting to all that. He's not. If Satoru Gojo couldn't react to all that, Yuta Okkotsu ain't reacting to all that. And of course, you know, Satoru Gojo may have been caught off guard because it's a regular dismantle. He didn't think it would bypass his infinity and all the good stuff like that. But still, the fact that when he felt that thing pierce his belly, he didn't even begin to move. Yeah, Yuta Okkotsu, he ain't dodging one of these bad boys. And that's all he needs. Like, realize Sukuna is still also holding back who knows what else. We have no... Like, at bare minimum, he still has the fire arrow. Kusakabe theorizes that he doesn't, but as much as I love Mr. Film Theory over there, Kusakabe don't know nothing. Clearly, he thought Spatialist Slash had some sort of cooldown on it. Now, all Sukuna needs to do is chant 3 lines. 3 words. 3 words, and the space is getting slashed. The world itself is being deleted. Mr. Okkotsu, what's your answer for that? Could you tell me, Mr. Okkotsu, what answer do you have to Ryomen Sukuna deciding to just a slash a space? Nothing? Yeah, that's what I thought. And here's the thing, even Rika shouldn't be able to tank it, because, right, Rika definitely has statements that get her up crazy. Like, the fact that we see Yuta and his main opponent go bar for bar, and then Rika shows up, and then Ryu Ishigori, the guy with the highest curse energy output in all of history, drops the bar that, that thing deflected it. It might be tougher than Okkotsu. So, admittedly it's a might, but clearly, like Yuta gets his hand literally like his fingers burnt off, Rika genuinely palms it. So, like, clearly fully manifested Rika is stronger, and who knows, maybe Rika herself has gotten stronger. I'm a little bit iffy on that, but, like, let's say she did. Once again, I'm not seeing the vision. Like, why would she be immune to Spatial Slash? Is Rika faster than light? Like, sure, she tagged Sukuna here, but like, Sukuna doesn't get tagged in the sense that he takes damage and gets smacked around. He squats because she's impressing her force on top of him, admittedly in an unmanifested state. But like, once again, I don't think that suddenly puts Rika in an entirely different tier or echelon above Sukuna, which is considering Sukuna is still most likely holding back and could literally cleave apart her hand right now.
Yuta's in danger.
The one reason, because you're maybe like, okay, Pencil, fine. Whether or not you believe I proved my point about Sukuna still being way too dangerous and way too much of a monster and a beast and a demon, Okkotsu not having the scaling or the statements or anything like that in his favor to show that he should go bar for bar with the strongest variation of Sukuna we've seen up to this point, with one of the best abilities to hard counter Yuta's best attribute, which is his sheer bulk and longevity due to his bulk. You may be wondering, alright, Pencil Man, fine, you got me. You're saying that Yuta Okkotsu can't do it because he's the king of curses, Ryomen Sukuna. Alright. But, if that's the case, what's the point then? He's the insurance, he's the backup, he hasn't slid on a ring yet. What's the hope? And the hope is that Sukuna holds back. The hope is that Sukuna doesn't use Spatial Slash. The hope is that Sukuna messes up and is still fighting a bunch of other people, and that Yuta can sneak him. And that maybe Maki can sneak him. Or that someone can do something. Here's the thing. Part of me wants to say that Yuta's destined for, like, part of me is leaning towards it so much just because I'm getting too used to it. Like I mentioned at the start of the video, but remember Higuruma. Remember him. Hyped as talent comparable to Satoru Gojo himself. Remember that. Remember what happened to him. Packed indiscriminately. Bro was removed from the plot instantaneously. Legitimately and honestly and truly packed for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Do you remember Hajime Kashimo, the strongest of the Edo? Do you remember him? Guess what Gege did? And he waffled him. Remember, Sukuna could pull this out at any time on you. Here's the thing, we don't know. These seem that, like, the reason these may all be world slashes, which would be crazy, like, these could all be spatial slashes, is because they have the same kind of energy as this one, in comparison to, like, the regular dismantles that we see, which in this case are these. Like, notably, dismantle is typically always portrayed like this, but if this is just a thing that Sukuna can do, if he legit can just send out waffle irons, and Kashimo couldn't react to it, I just don't see Yuta or Rika reacting to it. They could get waffled too. The possibility is there, but the hope is that Sukuna doesn't. That's the hope. The hope is that he simply does not. That he doesn't hit Yuta with one of these. Because, remember, Sukuna did this casually. He threw Kashimo, likely did a little chanty chant, and then immediately waffled him. And once again, like I said, remember Higuru. Remember Kashimo. Remember Satoru Gojo. They all got sliced up, torn to ribbons by Ryomen Sukuna. Went after getting hyped. And of course, this chapter, it rings so smooth and clean. But trust me, I want it too. I would honestly love it. I would love it if Yuta Okkotsu slid on that ring and started smacking techniques. He smacked the purple on the table. He smacked the cleave on the table. He smacked the dismantle. Smacked the deep ladder. Smacked the deadly sentencing. Why not? Smack everything. This is about blood manipulation, idol transfiguration, projections. Smack everything. Just give him the wiki. You could hand him the wiki. I'm fine with that. But one, I don't see that happening. And two, I feel like the hype is too similar. I remember getting hype for Kashimo. I remember getting hype for Gojo. Higuruma, not too much. I could see the vision in that. I could see I could see into the future. But Yuta has hope in the fact that he's a major side character, in the fact that he's the protagonist of the original series, or the prequel series, and in fact that Sukuna is holding back. He has yet to waffle iron anybody else when he easily could. So that's my hope for Yuta Okkotsu. That ultimately, while he stands no chance, and he should be annihilated the instant Sukuna takes him even remotely seriously, the fact that there's hope that he doesn't, is why I still believe in Yuta Okkotsu. I believe he can cook. Do I think he'll defeat Sukuna? No. Unfortunately, like I said, Yuta Okkotsu is the protagonist of the prequel series. There's another man who has Sukuna's number. At least in my opinion. I'm fine with Yuta playing a big part. I'm fine with his abilities being crucial. I'm fine with all that. But I think Yuji Todori has Sukuna's calling card. Yuta Okkotsu, I hope he burns bright. I hope he puts up a good fight. And I hope he confirms his spot as third strongest in the verse so he can knock everybody else out like a light. But something tells me that despite all the hype, this won't end all too right for Yuta Okkotsu. However, that's what I think about the matchup. This is why all the reasons I think about the matchup. This is why I kind of fear for Yuta, even though I do have some hope in him, because maybe, hopefully, Gege's feeling a little bit merciful. All that and more. But please tell me what you guys think in the comment section down below. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, please leave the blessed... No, I think I've done that one before. Leave the King's Copy. The King's Copy in the comment section down below. I'd like to thank you so much for watching. Please remember to leave a like, share, comment, subscribe, and make sure you hit that tiny little notification bell so you do not miss out on any videos that come to the channel. I say that generally because like the amount of people who pop up in the comment section are like, I haven't seen your videos in months. Why haven't you been posting? And I've literally been posting twice a day for like the past 2 months. But would that be the case? Make sure you hit that little notification bell so you do not miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, I do happen to have a Patreon down below where you can support me for as low as $1 a month. Things like exclusive videos, early content, ad-free content, and more. You can also now become a member to the channel for as low as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. Some of those perks will include the live reaction to the very next chapter of Jujutsu Kaisen. Now, the thing is for watching once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is That Guy with the Pencil, writing off. I'd like to give a thank you to our $3 members, Connor Plays, Red Wolf 4765, Greyhound, and Akids Void. I'd like to give another thank you to our $5 patrons, Victor, Sean, RNG Master, Midnight Gemlord, Metal Solid Crisis, Kevin, Igneal, and Demix LND. I'd like to give another thank you to our $7 member, Autumn's Morning Lazo. I'd like to give another chunk of thank you to our $10 patrons, Robbie Uchiha, Joaquin, Idemokami, and China Doll 09. I'd like to give a fat, juicy, scrumdiddlyumptious thank you to our wonderful $25 member, Alex Ice Rose. I'd like to give another hefty, defty, trifty, nifty thank you to our $25 patron, Calvin Elder.